Hello, Mithril here once again, getting back to Magmammal 2. It's time for the commentary on the last two videos, so let's get right to it with 65th place Lizard Commando's SMB3, Super Mario Bros. 3. Snow and Pyro. Holy geez, please calm down with the enemy placement in the first half, like, wow. My experience with it was basically, oh hey, cute SMB3 level, oh god, enemies everywhere, help! The re-sprites are really cute, but I feel like the level spams like the literal worst enemies to spam. Sniper Joes, Hammer Joes, Sniper Mechs, there's a lot of them, there's a lot of button mashing as a result, and for some unholy reason the Sniper Joes in this level lose their weakness to Slash Claw. Really? Didn't know that. Once the path splits though, the level gets more tolerable, mainly because both paths are auto-scroll, and that allows you to slow down and take care of the enemies more easily. I still don't think that the level is very well designed though. There are a lot of Sniper and Hammer Joes just pasted around, and it really doesn't make for a fun level experience. The Bowser boss fight is fine though, and the level does have a lot of charm going for it, so that's that, but it just isn't well designed. It's just kinda unfun. Droopy Hornet. I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't like this level. I couldn't even come close to enjoying the nice graphic replacements because there was so much enemy spam. The first part was fine because you could get through it easily if you went slowly. The second part was slightly worse with the falling platforms, but was still manageable. The tank and airship parts were the worst offenders because they were auto-scrollers, so you couldn't really go slowly or quickly, and there was a lot of enemies on the screen at once. You'd think after all of that, the boss fight would be really hard, but nope, it's just Bowser with only two attacks, fireballs and earthquakes, that are both insanely easy to dodge. It's really unfortunate too because this level had the potential to be fantastic, but it was ruined by sloppy level design. It felt like you made all these graphical replacements and tried to show them all at once, instead of making an actual level. That kind of thing can work, but at a certain point you need to ask yourself, am I doing too much? Angel. The way this level presents itself makes me feel like it tried to get a majority of its points by emulating the graphical wow factor from Magmammal 1's Super Mario World level. I can tell that a lot of work went into the sprites, even though they're not perfect, but I can also tell that this level would have been much more enjoyable if the work went into actually designing it instead, as the level pretty much falls short in every factor of design, aside from the boss. The level's main flaw is the abundance of enemies in every section, which are placed seemingly randomly and in much larger numbers than necessary. Couple this with a lack of health refill pickups, and you got a stage that'll make people frustrated very quickly. Gariri. What a disappointment. I would have liked the Mario theme here, but the level itself is just so bad. Not only are most enemies simply recolors of existing Mega Man enemies, but they're placed in excessive quantity and in the worst places possible. It's almost impossible to beat this level without taking damage. Also, the boss requires extreme precision to dodge his attacks, and when he isn't attacking, the fight is as dull as ever. So much more could have been done to this stage. Ace Spark. To quote the last contest, enemy spam is fun, right guys? That is everything wrong with this stage. Every screen is packed with enemies, and the enemy placement itself is baffling. The most infuriating one was on the airship area. Trying to get on those Tomahawk Man platforms was insane. Often you pick the worst possible enemy and put them in the worst possible place. With the exception of the Tomahawk platform, this entire stage is devoid of platforming challenges, and that's not really too fun. Just because the last contest had a high-ranking Mario level doesn't mean you're going to place as high as that one because you used Mario. Because what the last contest entry had was actual thought put behind it. This was just everything plonked down higgledy-piggledy. Don't get me wrong, some of these Mario reskins were pretty cool, but then you just sort of stopped trying and plonked regular Mega Man enemies into the Mario arena. This felt very one-cheeked, shall we say. Bowser was unexpected and a neat addition, but he was a bit too easy, really, which is par of the course for Bowser. Some of your positive score here is only due to including him, I'm not joking. This was pretty awful overall. Yeah, aesthetically, it felt really weird to just start seeing more Mega Man enemies show up amongst the Mario ones, especially when some of them had very obvious Mario enemy counterparts that could have been put in instead. And yeah, I think really my big problem with the stage is that split path, the fact that you just make a choice, and either one leads you to the same reward. It feels a bit disappointing that there's not really a reason to try both paths other than to just see what they're both about. That feels kinda lacking to me. It's interesting to see some of the judges disagree with their own thoughts on the stage though, like Snow Pyro enjoying these scrolling sections because it slowed things down, and then Droopy Hornet very much not. And next we had 64th, Lambda, Megalondo. Snow and Pyro, you died. Also more lag issues, I'm not sure I experienced any real lag there. Maybe Groose is just that powerful. I feel like there's some reference I'm missing in this level, with like the level title and how for some reason the level rates you with meme numbers as you're going through it. I don't know. I'm not really sure about this level. There's parts about it that I like and parts about it that I really don't like. I hate all of the times where you have to squeeze in between spikes. They're like the most stressful obstacles ever, and I hate them. The spike drop is pretty BS too. You barely have enough time to react to get all the way to the left before you die. And of course, lag issues. On the other hand, I like how crazy cannons are used as obstacles rather than enemies. I like how the time bombs are used, and the Gemini egg sections are surprisingly not that bad, mostly because charge shots in this game can pierce through them. Should've tried that. It's kind of a mixed bag overall. There's some good in it, but the bad is just really bad. Jupy Hornet. Didn't really like this level. I got the whole Dark Souls theme. Okay, so it was Dark Souls. And I know Dark Souls is meant to be hard, but that shouldn't come at the expense of good level design. My main issue was the annoying enemy placements. The best example is this one room where you had to climb a ladder to enter, and if you didn't stay at the very bottom, you were sniped by a crazy cannon. Yeah, that was annoying and a half. There's no indication of that happening, and new players won't see it coming. Another room killed you if you didn't know to hold right when you were falling. I don't think this level was designed with other players in mind. Thankfully it wasn't very long, but it still took me a while to beat. Angel. Honestly, with so much insta-kill around, I have to wonder how only having one midpoint is even remotely resembling fairness. Really, only one midpoint? Oh my gosh! I guess I'm lucky I didn't die more in that stage. This level as a whole isn't too bad to traverse, and while it goes out of its way to be unfair to the player and tries to shove them into spikes, the thing that makes this level frustrating is its stinginess with checkpoints. Spreading them out slightly differently and having 2 total would get rid of much of the pretty dangerous backtracking that has to be done if, for example, the player, me, dies in the spike drop like 5 times in a row. The level playing at only 40 frames per second doesn't help the situation, since it merely lengthens the time required to get back where the player died even further. Again, talking about lots of lag. I don't recall really feeling much lag. Gariri. I don't even know how you can screw up the level design this badly. Every movement has to be super precise, and all the areas are filled with unavoidable or barely avoidable enemies. Obstacles are placed very poorly too. Unless you do everything perfectly, you'll get frustrated way too easily. Other than that, there's nothing particularly redeeming about this level. And a spark. Why though? I don't mind instant death as a mechanic. I do mind instant death sending me back through several other rooms of very beefy enemies, or lots more other instant death. Your lack of checkpoints not only ratcheted up the tension, it made things very tedious to play. That last screen, the drop onto spikes right after the Crystal Joes, and the pit after that were utter BS too. Just saying. To give credit where it was due, the room with the pole legs and dropping enemies from above by taking down their ground, that was cool. And I think the fun factor here would have been greatly improved by actually sticking checkpoints in areas where, logically, there should be checkpoints. The room with the statue comes to mind. The enemy selection was nonsensical and nothing fit in. Why the Castlevania theme if you aren't going to do anything remotely Castlevania-y? Post-judging comment. Turns out this is supposed to be Dark Souls themed, with Castlevania graphics. You see the confusion. There's a right way and a wrong way to do instant death. This was the wrong way. Okay, so... yeah, instant death themed stages like that. I'm very lucky I didn't die more, apparently. I would have gotten very frustrated by the checkpointing in that stage too. And yes, that one crazy cannon shooting at the ladder, that is very, very rude. But yeah, all the people commenting on the lag, I can only guess that was offset by just what a beast Groose is, because if there was any lag, I was either just too busy with the stage to notice it, or it just wasn't as noticeable because of my current setup. But either way, yeah, instant death stage with only one checkpoint. Whew boy. But with that, that's where we're going to call it for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.